if Jada Pinkett could just go away, that'd be great.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, My Sister, My Frenemy. It's a sister act as the goddess next door and the devilish diva team up in this action-packed Isis series adventure. Get Isis, My Sister, My Frenemy in paperback and e-readers everywhere.
It looks like readers don't think that Jada Pinkett Smith's new memoir, Worthy, is worth their time to read. Now, Jada Pinkett Smith went on a national press tour to promote her new memoir, Worthy, and as she went on this press tour and made appearances on shows like The Today Show with Hoda Kotb, what she did was make a lot of revelations regarding her personal life and her relationship and her marriage to Will Smith. Now, in the press tour for Worthy, Jada Pinkett Smith revealed that her marriage to Will Smith was separated since 2016 and that both of them were basically living separate lives, even though they were presenting themselves as married on shows like the 2022 Oscars. And Jada Pinkett Smith and her publisher basically thought that there would be a lot of interest in Worthy as related to the controversies regarding her degrading marriage, the entanglement she had with August Alsina, and the infamous slap that took place at the Oscars. However, it doesn't seem like the American public is too interested to believe that Worthy is worth their time, because as this book debuted on October 17th, the sales have not been the blockbuster that the publisher anticipated for this frontlist book. No, this book has not performed in the way that a frontlist book would be expected to do. Now, the publisher thought that this book would go out here and have blockbuster sales of possibly 10 to 15,000 sales in the first day, and possibly go on to do at least 25 to 30,000 sales. That's the kind of sales people would expect a frontlist book written by a celebrity to do. Unfortunately, when it came to Jada Pinkett Smith's book, Worthy, the sales for Worthy were 2,700 copies, and that is embarrassing considering the amount of resources invested into Worthy's promotion, because most books written by authors like myself that are not really known, we don't really get the press tours where we're seen on television shows or get that kind of promotion that Worthy has received. And we have to go out here and do our own promotion on places like YouTube, like I do for my own books. And for the promotion that Jada Pinkett received to get 2,700 sales, that is a major black eye for the publisher and a major embarrassment for them, because it shows that the public just isn't interested in this book at all. And some are speculating that people aren't interested in Jada Pinkett Smith's Worthy because the book was released against stiff competition in the fall, and that stiff competition includes books by Britney Spears and Arnold Schwarzenegger and John Stamos, and some want to say that this basically undermined the performance of Worthy, but I really don't believe that at all. No, when it comes to Worthy, from what I've been hearing from people on social media, is that they're tired of Jada Pinkett Smith, and many people don't see her in a positive light, and because they don't see her in a positive light, they had no interest in reading the book. Now, others want to speculate that the sales rankings are being somewhat racist, but I don't believe that at all, because when it comes to Nielsen Bookscan and many of the rankings, they can only go out here and report on the actual sales numbers that a book receives. I know this for a fact because I deal with these Nielsen Bookscan rankings for many of my own books in the SJS Direct catalog. So a book's performance usually is based on people's interest, and from what I've seen is that people just aren't interested in Worthy, and they don't believe that Worthy is worth their time because they see that there's a lot of other things more important in their lives than hearing about a woman go out here and emasculate and humiliate her husband, Will Smith, by going out here and making all sorts of derogatory statements about him and their marriage being separated since 2016. And people are just tired of hearing Jada Pinkett Smith talk badly about her husband. So this is the reason why many people just don't want to buy Worthy, because they don't believe it's worth their time to continue to hear more statements from Jada Pinkett Smith humiliating and emasculating her husband in between the pages of this book. And people just realize that their time is too precious to continue hearing Jada Pinkett Smith go on in trying to tell us a bunch of lies as related to incidents like the one she stated regarding how much Tupac Shakur allegedly loved her. Now, that part of the book of Worthy is out and out lies, such as the statement she made about Tupac Shakur making a marriage proposal to her in 1995, when historical records from the biography of Tupac Shakur show that Tupac Shakur was involved with several other women and involved in committed relationships to those women, such as Quincy Jones's daughter and another woman who some say he was married to. So how can Tupac Shakur go out here and make a marriage proposal to a woman when he was allegedly engaged to Quincy Jones's daughter and possibly married to another woman? That's where we see that the facts that are of Tupac's story don't add up with Jada Pinkett's story, and we don't see how Jada and Tupac can be soulmates when Tupac is out here with other women. So most people, when they looked at Jada Pinkett's stories in Worthy, again, people didn't see it was worth their time to invest spending money on this book, considering the way Jada has basically degraded and disrespected her husband, and many people were so turned off by the way Jada has done her husband. So that's why people weren't interested in reading this book. And this book is a major flop, and a major flop because, again, they must have spent at least $1 million on giving Jada an advance on this book for her to go on a national book tour that was financed by the publisher, for the publisher to get her appearances on the Today Show and get her appearances on national television programs to just get 2,700 sales out of that. That's a major embarrassment, because to get 2,700 sales, that's what a high-end print-on-demand book like I produce on the SJS Direct imprint does. I mean, these are the kinds of numbers that indie print-on-demand books do on the high level. And for a celebrity author to go out here and have her book perform this poorly is, again, it's a major embarrassment all around. But it just shows what happens when a celebrity is just so abrasive, so rude and disrespectful. What happens is that the audience loses interest in that person. And with Jada Pinkett, the entire audience has basically said enough is enough, that we're tired of hearing her go out on just degrading and emasculating her husband, Will Smith, and people we were tired of hearing from her. And what we want the LSD, or as I call her, little sexual deviant, to do is just go away, because if she would go away, that would be great, because we're tired of hearing from her. We're tired of hearing about her dysfunctional marriage that neither one of them want to leave. And again, when it comes to Jada Pinkett being this domineering, emasculating shrew of a woman, and Will Smith being a complete emasculated beta male who is so pathetic that he doesn't want to change, what people want to do is make a change from them And the way we make our change from these two toxic individuals is to start cutting off contact. And that's what people are doing once they heard about Worthy. They just realized it wasn't worth their time to buy this book because both Will and Jada are extremely toxic. And people we realize that if these people don't want to make any changes to their lives, we're not going to continue enabling their dysfunction. That is what healthy people do when they see people in a toxic situation. When we see people in a toxic situation and they refuse to make changes, like pathetic Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, who just gets off on the attention she receives from creating this drama as related to this dysfunctional marriage, what people do is cut off all contact. And this whole book was basically a Hail Mary for Jada Pinkett to try to fix Will Smith's image that was damaged by the Oscars. But what's happened here is that due to the poor sales, the damage is done to Will Smith's brand and it's done to Jada Pinkett brand overall. And that it shows by the audience's indifference, because people at this point, we no longer care about Will or Jada. We don't care because they don't care to change, and they're not going to be able to get a bag on this book. No, this book basically is a disaster, and it shows Hollywood that Will and Jada are no longer bankable, and Jada, now she's in a place where she knows she can't get attention from the public as related to her dysfunctional marriage. So she knows that now that the skid mark thong is in the washing machine, and the machine is on the last couple of numbers of the timer, and it's about to turn off, and the attendant is about to take the skid mark thong and drop it in the trash because the person who had the laundry is not coming back for it. So Jada at this point is more washed up than some skid mark thongs who have been left in the washing machine. She's basically done at this point, and she's done at this point because the audience at this point is no longer cares about all of her drama, because her drama basically shows that she's an ungrateful woman who doesn't appreciate anything her husband does. She doesn't respect her husband, and she doesn't respect the public, and she doesn't respect the legacy of Tupac Shakur. And because she has no respect for anyone, nobody wants to respect her by giving her their time to read her book. And with there being other options by more prominent celebrities like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Britney Spears out there, people would rather spend their time with these more higher A-list celebrities on their books, or even a B-list celebrity like John Stamos reading their books, rather than reading about the drama of a D-list actress at best, because Jada Pinkett basically is a D-list actress at best, because without her marriage to Will Smith, she would have been washed up by the time A Low Down Dirty Shame ended, and her career basically would have been ended around 1994, which was her peak year, or 95 would set it off, because the only guy who basically is one that people would say is good for Jada is the character that Charles Robinson played and set it off. So Jada thought, oh, this book would be a tell-all that people would want to hear from, but people aren't really interested in listening to any of the things she's got to say in between the pages of Worthy. And since it's not, most people don't see that she can sell a book that's worth people's time, that means her time is basically up in Hollywood. And if Will gets a backbone and some stones, Jada's gonna be bought out and put out back to Pennsylvania, and she's gonna be living in Pennsylvania because Hollywood doesn't want anything to do with Jada, who's definitely now on the road to bust downtown in the complex with Tia Mowry and Halle Berry. That's where Jada is headed right now, and she's basically done at this point, because if you can't sell a tell-all book, then nobody wants to tell any more stories with that actress. Now, if you want to pick up my screenplay featuring a faded former teen sitcom star looking to rebuild her life, you can pick up All About Marilyn on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. And if you want to pick up the absolutely fabulous first season of All About Nikki, the sitcom I created, you can also find that screenplay book on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. And if you want to pick up some of the action-packed fantasy fiction I produce on the SJS Direct imprint, like the ISIS series, the Esteem series, the John Haynes series, the books of the Spinsterella trilogy, or my Black sorority novel, The Thetas, my Black business novel, A Recipe for Success, or my Black vampire novel, Eternal Night, you can find all those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them at other online booksellers like Smashware's The iBookstore, Google Play, and Barnes & Noble. And if you'd like to see me make more videos taking celebrities like Jada Pinkett to the barbecue, you can send a donation to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, ISIS Legacy. The sorority secrets of the goddess next door are revealed in this all-new ISIS series adventure. Get ISIS Legacy in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere.
Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.